I'd honestly rate Throne and Liberty a solid 8 out of 10. I would recommend the game, and with the game now being completely free to play, if this title has been on your radar in consideration, then there is honestly no reason to not try it. I've said this before on my first impression, and now playing even a much larger handful of hours, I'm doubling down on what I've said. This is not sponsored. I am not paid to say this. This is my overall opinion and honest take. The Throne and Liberty release is right around the corner for the free-to-play players on October 1st, and as of the making of this video, that's tomorrow. I myself have been playing an unhealthy amount of this game in the early release dates. If you're interested in checking out my first impression on the game, you can check out this video here. If you're interested in checking out a leveling guide that's quick and easy to understand, you can also check out this video as well to get yourself familiar with the things you need to know in the earlier mid-game. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you a scope on what some of that later game content looks like. Now, bear in mind, this video is not going to be talking about the nitty-gritty details of certain min-maxing things to be able to do. It's merely just going to be a scope into the later game content to help you know what you're going to be diving into. But a quick little run through with some of the things that you will be doing in the earlier game. You will be pushing towards getting to level 50. Upon hitting level 50, which is max level, you'll then be introduced into the real grind and real content itself, which is going to be the gear grind and the gear push. Essentially gear score, or as they are calling it, your power level. The content that you're going to be pursuing into that later game content will be things such as dungeon content, such as co-op dungeon content, as well as solo dungeon content you'll be able to participate in. The dungeons themselves have a variety of different loot tables and different type of items that you can obtain that can also be catered towards the builds that you may want to also pursue. They do have a certain percentage chance of dropping, which makes things all that much more exciting when you finally obtain pieces of gear that you may need. Doing certain solo dungeon content will also allow you to obtain materials and crafting materials used towards enhancing some of these gear pieces that you may also obtain in your endeavors. The dungeon content is of your classic style MMO gameplay, where you'll be needing to play roles such as tank, healer, and damage dealers. In that dungeon style content, there will be different styles of mechanics to follow, different things to do as a group, different roles to play, as I've mentioned, that add a little bit of sprinkle and flavor of a challenge in your missions, as well as a variety of different style elites and ultimately a final boss. The dungeons don't really take too long to do. They're a really good amount of time to complete, and I found myself actually having quite a bit of fun completing them. A lot of different worldly events are also available to do, such as being able to go do world boss content and different events that involve a variety of the community. Some of the world bosses that you can also do are completely peaceful, where you can just go, hit the boss, hope for some loot, hope for some good drops. And if you're in a guild community, you can also share some of that loot amongst the community that you're part of. There's also PvP instance bosses, where you can go once again pursue battling a challenging world boss, as well as combat against other players in a PvP focused setting. I've also found myself very much enjoying this style of content. It's a nice breath of fresh air in the early stages of this game, and I think a lot of you guys who look forward to that style of content will have a lot of fun participating in it. World bosses and other varieties of events will spawn on certain scheduled times, which you can also see at the top right hand side by your minimap to know when it is, as well as being able to fast travel near these events to be able to quickly access this content and be able to quickly pick up where you left off afterwards. The world bosses and other events that you can participate in are a fantastic way of getting resources that you can use to help push the gear that you will be working towards in the game, as well as getting materials to help craft certain materials that will also help further that gear progression in that late game content. In the later content of the game, there are other smaller quests that you're able to accept and repeat daily that are called contracts, which again in turn will allow you to earn materials that you can use for crafting items and necessary materials used towards enhancing and your gear progression as well. I found that these contracts are very important to run in order to progress your gear that you're working on, as well as progress your skill levels, which all combines into your total power level. Similar to games that have achievement style systems, there are a variety of achievements that you can do. One of them called your lithograph, where you can simply just turn in items to claim higher yielding rewards, as well as other materials used towards your overall power and gear progression. There's also different styles of achievements that you can complete, such as world exploration, leveling bonuses, a variety of different side quests completed, and a lot more different things to do. There's honestly a lot of stuff to be able to cover, and there's going to be a wide variety of things for you to do explore. And I honestly like to compare this to saying that this game absolutely has a marathon involved in it if you are an MMO enjoyer. And this game does ultimately offer a marathon, not a sprint. and I do think that it's done in a really fun way so far. There's also a variety of vendors that you can interact with, such as being able to craft certain items from accessories, weapons, armors, items needed to enhance your skills, as well as different vendors that you can use different styles of currency towards, such as completing certain tasks and using that currency to obtain items once again needed for your character's progression. It's all very important to do, and there is a wide variety of things to cover to allow things to become full circle into your character's progression. And once again, bear in mind, I'm not going to be going over all the nitty-gritty details on min-maxing, on what to focus on and what to do. This is once again just to let you guys know these are the things that you can expect to be doing in the later game content. A lot of these things are kind of rinse and repeat, but I still have found myself having a lot of fun and enjoying this style of content. And I was kind of concerned that with daily gated content, this would kind of limit the amount of time that I'd be able to play per day, but I have found myself having a wide variety of things to do that honestly can take quite a bit of time. So if you are interested in having a lot of time spent in the game during a day, there are many things for you to do, cover, and also enjoy if that's your thing. What's interesting is that you can use certain materials for upgrading your gear, as well as upgrading lower tier gear that you can feed into higher grade gear to ultimately boost its level. Your gear also has additional special perks on it called traits, and these traits have a completely randomized chance of rolling a different variety of things that you will find you will need for the class and style that you will be playing, and you can level these traits up to become stronger overall. So gear progression, gear leveling, having additional traits to make that gear even more passively stronger for your character, and being able to level up traits involved, and being able to upgrade very nitty-gritty stats for your overall power level and progression. Even with simple little activities, such as having simple little companions where you can send out to go work and gather materials over a certain period of time it's very healthy to rotate and does overall help with the material gathering process, once again used for your character's progression, for that crafting, for upgrading, and things of that nature. The one thing that I found myself really enjoying is there is a pay to win currency in the game that, yes, you are able to pay for, and people were worried about this game becoming very pay to win. The pay to win currency, however, is also completely earnable through in-game means, and you are able to achieve this completely free to play. This is all done through the in-game auction house, where you're able to sell items on the marketplace, obtain that marketplace currency. That currency is called Lucen. Lucen you can use to buy other items off the marketplace, and Lucen is also the currency that you can use to buy things off of the in-game cash shop. So instead of swiping for that in-game cash shop currency, you can play the game through completely natural means, sell things onto the in-game marketplace, and buy things off of the in-game cash shop, such as items like leveling up passes, battle passes, in-game cosmetics, and dyes. And so far, I have not found a single thing that is only obtainable through spending money. You are able to obtain a lot of the things in the in-game cash shop through completely organic gameplay. I haven't seen many games do this, and I'm actually quite a huge fan of systems like that. Whether you want to swipe for it or you want to earn it through in-game means, it's very affordable. It's very easy to obtain. I managed to be able to buy the battle pass and the leveling up pass through selling one item that I got through a dungeon, and those were able to yield me, once again, more materials used towards my end game and later game progression. The battle pass simply is just leveled up through doing daily, weekly, and monthly activities, and the leveling up pass simply rewards me with more materials from simply leveling up. And again, if you're interested in knowing how to level up and doing it more efficiently, you are welcome to check out this video here, where I cover that topic and kept it very simple and easy to understand. All in all, I would also suggest that one of the number one things I do recommend players do is find a guild, find a community that you can be part of, so you're able to enjoy these dungeons alongside players that can communicate a bit more healthy in the sense of following mechanics, doing certain things, as well as offering information on how to be able to complete certain things and things of that nature, being able to participate in PvP events in a coordinated fashion. The PvP honestly is a lot of fun. The group content I found myself to truly honestly be enjoying, and I'm very interested in seeing how the long-term health of this game continues to go. I have made a video once again on my first impressions of this game, and following this video, I do have to say, going into the later game content, I found myself even enjoying this content a lot more than I anticipated. It is a breath of fresh air. I haven't really been taking too much of it seriously, and I think that's also what's made it so fun. I'd honestly rate Throne and Liberty a solid 8 out of 10. I would recommend the game, And with the game now being completely free to play, if this title has been on your radar in consideration, then there is honestly no reason to not try it. I've said this before on my first impression, and now playing even a much larger handful of hours, I'm doubling down on what I've said. This is not sponsored. I am not paid to say this. This is my overall opinion and honest take. But you know what? Some of these games aren't for everybody, and if it's not for you, that is perfectly fine, and that is totally okay. But if you are considering trying out the title, give it a go. You honestly have nothing to lose. There are quite a few more things to go over in detail in the game if you're wanting to learn and how to understand certain mechanics and more specific things to do. And I'll be breaking down a lot more of these categories as I continue to progress through the game. So look forward to seeing more detailed guides and things of that nature. But for now, this is my overall first impression into the later game content. I do hope it's offered you a valuable scope into things that you can expect into the later game. I will be streaming this game quite frequently, and I also have some Twitch drops enabled on my channel. So if you're interested in coming over, hanging out, asking some questions, or even just going over and getting some drops, then feel free to come by my stream. I'll be sure to link it in the description down below. Also, feel free to come hang out in the Discord if you're ever interested in chatting with us offline. As far as that goes, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a like, subscribe for more content from me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.